Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Tele-Viper and Cobra flight pod, also known as the Trubble Bubble. This is a Pulse exclusive. Let me just tell you, this box is a big boy. Number 79. There you have him. You see a whole bunch of flight pods. You know, they made it so we're going to have a whole bunch of different head sculpts. So this is an army builder, but $55. Kind of pricey for an army builder, but again, you are getting a vehicle and figures that you can mix and match. So here we have everything that we have, everything that it comes with. His gun, his backpack, the different heads, the missiles, the, I guess, mine. I think that's what I always thought it was. So there you go. QR code to take you to a file card. So I'm not going to go on that. And here on the back, we got the Trubble Bubble. We got the figure, everything that it comes with. And again, we got the height here, so 5.8 and 6.3. So this thing is actually shorter than an actual figure. But you got a few little marks that it's going to show you. Again, this thing looks really nice. I can't wait to get this thing open, take a look at it. But not only are we going to look at this, we're also going to compare him to the original O-ring Tele-Viper, see how he pairs up. And then we'll take a look at the Trubble Bubble, the flight pod. Now, as you can see, I have Dr. Mindbender in here because this was going to be the Canadian Target exclusive. If you know, you know. That's why Dr. Mindbender's in here. Anyway, we're going to compare it to this. We'll see how it looks. We'll see if it is the O-ring version, just scaled up, or if it's just something you need to pass on. Oh, wait a minute. You have to pass because they sold out. Don't wait. I mean, just wait. So I'm able to get mine. Then you guys do whatever you need to do. But anyway, enough of this. Let's look at this. But before I do, if you like the content that I'm giving you, if you think some of the jabs that I take at people are pretty funny, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I take a jab. I mean, do a classified G.I. Joe video. Anyway, let's take a look. Oh, so to start off here it is and how it looks. Things are still in this using the regular rope to tie it in, which I find it really easy. I think this is actually better. So we can just kind of snip these right off without a problem. Get this out of the way. Figure the same way. And then we can get this figure out. So I just want to kind of show you how this is going to come. So everything is kind of tied. This is tied up, so at least as of right now, it looks like they're trying to make it, or at least they were trying to make it, so when the stuff comes in, it is not broken. So there's your flight pod. There's our Tele-Viper. And there's the artwork. Again, this one is much larger. It looks absolutely amazing, just right off the bat looking at it. And then here's our giant locker. Again, same issue, Tele-Viper. And Cobra flight pod, $7.79. Cobra symbol is going to be upside down. Handle's upside down. But we've gone over that. And I said I'm not going to continue to go on that. And here they kind of sectioned it off. So it looks like maybe they could have got away with a smaller package. Especially for the shipping that you might be dealing with. Because it is going to be kind of pricey. There's our figure. He just looks nice right off the bat there. I mean, he's pretty close to having those colors. So we'll take a look at everything. I'll put this to the side. I just kind of wanted to show you what we have here. So here's the back. As we can see, it is already, or not already, but it's in this cardboard to keep it from causing a problem. It looks like it's just going to plug directly into there. And they did make some mention about how this is kind of future proofing, that maybe this could be used for something else down the road. And here, I'll open up everything. Make sure we don't miss anything. Cord. So far looking at this, here's this. This is going to be the gun. Let's hope that we don't have issues with these being soft. So here's the gun. You know, it's a little soft. I don't have a problem with it if it stays straight. And this is going to plug directly onto here. Now, was that as far as it, oh, I think that's as far as it goes on. All right, so let's quickly look in here. Let's not break anything before we even get this thing on. So, all right, so I think that's as far as it goes on. So this thing's gonna, I feel like this is gonna fall off pretty easily, but it can rotate, and so that's how it goes on. Not bad. Then we got these little pieces. Now these are the dog bones for the missiles, and they specifically said that if you don't want to have it on there, you can remove them. And if you want them on there, then you could have them on there. So these just plug in really easy. One on either side. Nice little vehicle. And then you have your missiles. The missiles kind of plug on. Now, I gotta say, looking at this landmine, it's actually, or the air mine, or whatever you want to call it, kind of funny because it is tiny. Here is the O-ring one. Looks the same, but kind of tiny. Different heads. All right, so quickly, we'll take a look at the air mines and quickly went over that. So obviously much smaller. We'll turn it this way. So if you didn't know this, actually, and I did not know this, this actually plugs into the back, or I'm sorry, into the seat. So it actually does hold a backpack technically, but it plugs in there. It does fit inside the original Trubble Bubble. So looking at the back of it, you can see, like, if they hit it, it's going to explode. Now, they put this on the bottom, so maybe that's supposed to be something to keep it propelled or in flight. But they did a really good job of just kind of recreating it and everything that is on it. Now, the original one here, this does pop open, and you can see the inside workings of it. And they did something similar here. We'll see how this looks. And as you can see, it's actually very similar. They pretty much just recreated it. Again, don't have to put anything on it. They did add the bottom piece to it. Much smaller, makes more sense. But I'm glad they did give it. I was assuming it'd be in scale to this. But again, no big deal. I guess it means that we could use these larger ones in our classified scale, classified design if we want. So, all right, so we'll take a look at the Trubble Bubble since we have it out here. And we'll take out our Target exclusive Mind Bender and Trubble Bubble. Throw this back on here. So just a quick look at it, and you can tell it is the exact same. Now, this was always real flimsy here because of the way that it was made. This, they broke it apart, but obviously it is different. So, as we look at it, you can see they put black on the bottom. They made it whiter, which for the most part is the exact same. You can see where the tubes, different tubing is supposed to be run. I would assume, looking at this Trubble Bubble, this wasn't mine. I actually purchased this one. Lost it here. The stickers are probably exactly where they're supposed to be. And you have the Cobra symbol. You have what it is. Still have the 3 Sky Strikers on the back here. Now, I always thought this was a port so you could gas it up. This here, they do not do it. But they did put in some different paint apps along with the gray here. So they did make it different colors. The jets are the same. So I like the way that it looks. I like the fact that they changed the color on the back because it's just something a little different. And you go all the way around, and again, you have the missiles. And again, these dog bone pins can come off. So on the front, you do still have the Cobra symbol, but instead you have this heads-up display, which is really nice. And then this one flips up to right there. And this one, if it goes too far, it just knocks that off. So obviously that's a nice update. But even looking at the side here, I'm knocking everything off. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to do the Hiss tank. So even the detail right here, as you can see, it looks really nice. Where, I'll pop this off here. You can see they recreated it. Gave it more mechanics inside of it. A little bit of paint app there. So I think it looks really nice. Let me look at the front of it. Let's throw this back on here just so we have a full image of the... So on the front, they gave it the same type of gun, really long. They gave it more detail, which is nice because, let's be honest, this was pretty plain. But now, I like what they did here was they made this gray, where this was actually just voided because that's where it snapped into place. But they did give it some detail here, so it's just not just plain the way this was. No big deal for the O-ring. And then they give it some other type of perhaps optics. Maybe that's what's showing up in the heads up here. No one ever knew if this was actually guns or if they're supposed to be, you know, some sort of optics. But the the unit looks the exact same. They give you some brake handles. So you got some brake handles here, or brake, speed, whatever. And then on the inside, you're really going to see a difference. So on the inside of the original Trubble Bubble, all there was a little bit of texture for where the seat is, and then you had the peg where you were going to peg in. Here, we have an actual seat that looks nice. A seat belt, which people have made all the jokes and comments about it, that this is to prevent snake eyes from tossing you out. But on the inside, there are a lot of different heads-up things. I can't say they're heads-up because they'd be behind you. Looks like a speaker probably. Just different lights that are going to be there. And just giving it some detail. So it's nice that they updated it that way. So you're not looking at it thinking, well, you know what? I don't know how you're going to use this. So he'll obviously sit in here. The gun can move up and down, side to side, which is nice, but the Trubble Bubble, I think, is just going to move on its own. All right, so let's get this out of the way. I need a bigger staging area so I can go through all this. Our little mine back here. So let's quickly take a look at the backpack. So as you can see, this is to recreate the original backpack that they had. It is a little soft rubber here, not that much of a deal to me. That doesn't bother me. So looking at the O-ring one, the backpack looks pretty much the exact same. So they give it some purple paint apps to it, even the 3 ports on the side. You got the antenna there. They did give you the port so you can actually put the weapon on there. I mean, everything, even the little lines that run down, everything looks really, really nice on this. And so this one here is going to plug into the bottom where, oh, you know what? This is not, this here must not be an original O-ring backpack because it doesn't have the port for the back or the bottom, which I do believe that's exactly where it was. So I have to look at for one of my original ones. I know I have a bunch of them. So, but it's the exact same design. So I'm going to put that over there. We'll look at his gun. Again, I've never known what this gun is. People said it's a, you know, it's a sonic blaster. It may be a gun to project images. I always thought it looked corny and stupid. This actually looks pretty decent, especially if you're saying like it's a wave emitter. So let's say it's a wave emitter. So what they used in the Incredible Hulks to fight the Hulk, just to stop him or pause him. So, but they did a pretty good job of just recreating it. I mean, even the hose is going to plug onto the bottom. It's not as megaphony here, where this looks kind of like a megaphone. I never even noticed that this is a handle to hold it, so I looked at this one. Even the stock on the back here it has where it's broken into. It does have a port in the middle for blast effects. So here's the hose that it comes with. Now I do not have a hose, obviously, because I have the wrong backpack. But it looks like it's universal. So we'll just kind of pop this on. I believe this is the same hose Mindbender comes with. And it pops right in there. And it is nice and flexible, so you don't have to really worry too much about it. And we can plug this in to the side of him when he's carrying it. So now let's look at the figure, and we're quickly going to look at the articulation. So looking at this figure, I'm not sure if he is a completely new mold, but either way, he looks really sharp. So we'll start with the neck. So once again, the necks move back and forth along with the head. So it's basically two joints. You can only look up that far. T-pose. There he goes. Bicep swivel. Double elbows. Looks really nice. Again, no heat at all so far. They do have, I don't really point out that they do have butterfly joints. The issue is the butterfly joints don't really work. They do not have the articulation. They don't move far enough, so they don't really do too much. And then he has this, secondary, which also causes issue. So, looking here, you can see that he has the ab crunch. He can move up and down. It doesn't really cause any issues because this is broken. Where the original figures, this would probably be one unit. Because it's two different units and because of how high it is, it doesn't cause a problem. You got your Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got your thigh swivel. Now, I gotta say, these legs feel stiffer. Same with the figure that I just reviewed. They just feel a little bit stiffer, and not in a bad way. They just feel more solid. I guess that's a better way to do it. So, double pinless knees, no problem. Boot cut. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, hey, you know what? We've already seen the articulation. Why do you continue to go over it? I quickly go over it because there are people that are coming in that haven't collected Classified, or they're coming over from Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, Valiverse. They're comparing this to a NECA figure. They just want to have an idea, so I quickly run over everything. Now, let's take a look at this actual figure and see how he looks. So, as you can see, he's completely recreated this O-ring. Now, they made the whole vest purple, which I'm perfectly fine with. But as you can see here, he has pouches here, and he's also going to have pouches. And he even clamps across right up there, which is the same. Now, they made the texture up here black, so this is more like the, it's more like the padding that a baseball catcher has. And even down here, it looks very similar to what he has on his abs. I can see it better through this camera here. On the belt, he's got the circle, which on the original O-ring, oddly enough, they actually put some paint apps on it. At least I believe that is. I don't believe anyone painted that. He's got some side pouches, which they don't give him here. Does have the side pouches right up here. It runs down. So it looks extremely nice. The belt runs all around to the back. And again, even on the back here, where this is all purple, they made it black up here. But the texture is the exact same. So I think they did a really nice job. And I like the fact that they give him some paint apps on the boots. So they're purple and black, where the original boots are purple. Looking at the mask, the head. So I've always hated this head. I think this one looks pretty good. They thinned it down the same way they did with the Snow Serpent. I know a lot of people have a problem with it. I don't. I like the fact that it's thinned down, but you can see that it's still the same. It has the two notches on the side there that's holding it on. He's got the silver goggles. He has the mouthpiece. This is all a mouthpiece that runs across, but I like that it's black and it's just not all one color like the original. And he kind of has the same snarl on both figures. Now you can see this one's kind of snarling with his lip up, but they still have a very similar looking face. So I'm looking at this here, and I am wondering, oh, they're different. Okay, so yeah, I'm not really sure what legs these are. If you're in the comments, jump in there and tell me what they are, because again, there's been so many different figures. I can't keep up with everything. They're definitely not that, because those are pinned. So now let's take a look at the different heads. So here is the black face. I can't believe I said that. Now they are the exact same heads, obviously just painted differently. So there's nothing else exposed on him, so it does work. You don't have to worry about forearms being exposed or anything like that. Now, this one obviously has his forearms exposed. I guess they could do a retro version later. You know, I didn't look at that, so quickly. He even has a little pouch up here, but the fact that they gave him some electronics on the side here on his forearms, at least on one forearm. So here's his gauntlet, but he's wearing these black sleeves. Again, it's so you can change the figure out, so you don't have to worry about someone having an issue with a white and black Viper like they did. But again, face looks good, paint looks good, no issues there. So here's your second head sculpt. I think this one looks really nice. And then you have this one, which is a fully armored one. He's got some nice, wonderful goggles. You can use this one maybe as your tactical one. He's maybe in battle. He's gone in with the special forces. So the helmet is pretty much... Is that one? Oh, no. So it is different running all the way through the back. So some people have mentioned that this may be a mechanized one. So you can maybe make this a mechanized bat. I wonder how it... Well, because the bats have different neck pegs, it's hard to say. So, I mean, if you put someone in the black bats, this one just kind of fits right on it. I don't know how it fit on the regular release bat. It looks sharp. All right, so here's our white one. Pop this head off so it easily comes off. Nice and easy. The black figure on. I think that looks pretty nice too. But this one here is really, really intrigued me. So we're gonna pop this on here, and look at that. Looks really nice. I mean, this guy's been through on special, these special operations with the rest of the Cobra that's down and dirty. So there you go. Backpack pops right on there. No issues. Now let's see how it actually fits into the flight pod. So, flight pod just opens up. This comes down. One little hole there. It's going to peg right on in there. Let's get our guy all set and ready. Now, just so you know, someone just came up and you can hear, that's right, Mr. Roman in the background wanting to get out. So give me 1 second here. So in the comments, you know what? Tell me what you like, what you don't like about this. Also, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification. Listen, there's more G.I. Joes. Hopefully they come in. I'm waiting on a package and nothing. So I have 6 MIA G.I. Joe classified figures, but it sure would be nice to have them. So this thing just kind of pops on in there. Doesn't really matter what figure it is. So as long as you can bend their legs, you can get any figure in here. I am struggling to get this in here. So you do have this belt. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to kind of play around with that to get that thing in there. But I don't think the figure's really going to fall out all that easy. It's nice that Cobra has the his tank coming with their seat belts. So there is your Tele-Viper in the flight pod. Now it kind of sits up above it. So it's going to take a little bit of playing around to get these in good position. There's really nowhere for him to put his feet. But the biggest issue that I think people are going to have with the flight pod is that there's no stand for it. And I think that's a big opportunity that they missed, where they could have had a stand that was made for this, along with Serpentor's Air Chariot. Now, I did a video on how to make Serpentor's Air Chariot look like it's flying, but... So, I have this here. This is one of the flight stands for Hasbro. And I'm just wondering if it's possible that we might be able to get this to actually hold this without a problem. So this is the first idea that I had. So maybe some sticky tack. It's going to hold this on here. You can kind of clamp that on there. So I'm going to have to play around a little bit. It's a little bit too high there. But as you can see, it's actually holding up fairly well. Now, got to stabilize it a little bit more. But I think the flight pod these flight stands might actually work pretty well for these Trubble Bubbles, if it is something you are looking at to make sure that it's flying. So, let's pop this off. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly here. Let's pop him out here. Let's pop on a new head sculpt for him really quick and see how he looks. If we can get the gun in his hand, if the hose impedes anything, causes any problems. And then we'll wrap up this whole video. Because you guys are probably tired of hearing me. I know I would be. And I gotta do other things. You know, like make dinner and, I don't know. Little things like that. Alright. Now, the weapon is actually, you know, I didn't even go over. So the weapon here, move this too far back. The weapon is pretty soft. But it kind of comes back into place. I just want a little bit stiffer weapon. That's what she said. So we can get this in. Now, again, what this thing is, who knows? Does it really give off that much force? Does he have to hold it with two hands? Can he fire it with one? Having a pistol would have been nice. Maybe not a rifle, but again, you are army building this, and this is a fairly stupid weapon, unless if it is some sort of like repeller or sonic wave shooter. But you're able to get them in a pose fairly easy. But yeah, that's really it, man. I mean, I think it's a really good representation. I know people are upset that, you know, he has sleeves on it, but they wanted to give you extra heads. I think for $55, this is a really nice looking small vehicle that you can use. And it's really not a bad price for something like this. And again, it's what we've become used to. But again, looking at the detail and everything. So, there you go. That is the flight pod. Alright, so my initial thoughts on the Tele-Viper and Trubble Bubble is I really do like it. Now, yeah, I've only had it open for a short bit. I like the fact that they give you 3 different head options, so it is truly an army builder, but the Trubble Bubble doesn't have to go with the actual Tele-Viper. I feel like the Trubble Bubble feels solidly made. I mentioned that the gun feels a little soft, but I don't think it feels bad. It doesn't feel like it's going to come off easily. I like the fact of how much it folds down, and then you have the seat belt, so you don't have to worry about a peg system, because some figures the peg may be in a different spot, which would cause a problem. So you can fit your Joes in it, your Cobras in it, your Valivers figures, any 6-inch type figure. You shouldn't have a problem getting in it. I like the little mine that it comes with, the 3 heads, wonderful touch, and it is a really great redesign of the original figure. So that's my initial thoughts of it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Alright, so that's my review on the Tele-Viper and Trubble Bubble in comparison to the O-rings. Again, not the Target exclusive Canadian Island of the Vipers exclusive. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. But hey, you know what? If you're on social medias, I'd appreciate it if you jumped over Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. Punk with Toys. Give me a like, give me a follow, whatever they want to call it. I don't know what it is. The Facebook group page, Punks with Toys. Because once you join, you're a Punk with Toys. Like to have fun over there. And last but not least, if you are still here, if you like the content that I'm giving you, if you like the quips, the jabs that I'm doing towards out there and just having fun, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop a G.I. Joe video. but I'm gonna get out of here. But don't go anywhere. Up here is a brand new G.I. Joe, well, it's brand new for now, review, and this is the classified playlist of all the figures that I've done. Take care.